come to learn that not all heroes wear capes. These days, in fact, the majority of them wear PPEs, personal protective equipment, complete with face masks. Wasn't that long ago that Kameno Bell was wearing different equipment, shoulder pads, and his face mask was attached to a bright orange helmet. In 1991, Bell was named as Illinois football's MVP, eventually selected in the 12th round of the 1992 NFL Draft by the Miami Dolphins. Don't tell Wingo there used to be 12 rounds to cover. His head would explode. The shifty running back stuck his foot in the turf and changed directions. And since 2007, Bell has served as an emergency medicine physician at Hackensack University Medical Center, which is 10 miles from the world's COVID-19 epicenter in New York City. Pleased to be joined now by Dr. Kameno Bell. And Doc, we start every SportsCenter and really finish every show with sort of a tip of the cap, a nod, a thank you to all those on the front line, people much like yourself. And I always wonder how doctors like yourself put themselves in harm's way for really seemingly strangers, people you don't even know, to try to help them. And you, in fact, did have some mild exposure, had to be quarantined. So how scary is it to go to work every single day and as your wife and 3 daughters kiss you goodbye? What's that like?
Yeah, that's pretty stressful. So, it started out and I probably was pretty casual, thinking it was like the normal flu when this pandemic first started. But then when you saw the intensity, the volume of patients coming in and then them getting really sick, it changed my attitude real quick. When I come home, I make sure that I go straight to the basement and almost disinfect before I see the whole family. So the last thing I want to do is obviously infect my wife and kids doing my daily job.
You could have played in the NFL, and you chose a different path. You chose medicine. How difficult was that decision for you, and what was the key turning point in that?
Well, I was helped in that decision. I was cut a couple times from the Miami Dolphins, and that kind of influenced me to, although I would say I was hard-headed initially because I tried to go back, but being cut multiple times kind of made it obvious for me to seek another career. In undergrad, I was pre-med, so I had always had envisioned going to medicine, but became successful late bloomer in football, so I gave that an opportunity.
Did you have a favorite doctor growing up?
Favorite doctor?
Well, I mean, everybody has a favorite football player growing up, right? So who was your favorite football player growing up? And then tell me if you had a favorite doctor, too.
Well, I'm from Chicago. And I wore 34, so you can guess who that was.
Well, sweetness.
Right. But my stepfather was a dentist, although I didn't go into dentistry. And then after that, my team doctor in college was a role model. But I enjoyed medicine. I enjoyed science in high school. So, it was meant to be, I think.
Dr. Kameno Bell for now, for our purposes. And good old number 34. Thank you for joining us here on SportsCenter. Thank you for what you do, and keep fighting the good fight.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thought he was going to say Dr. Fauci, but he was around in '84. On this day in sports history, May 9th, 2010, A's, Rays. It was Mother's Day that day nearly a decade ago. Dallas Braden on the mound. He had been shelled by the Rays 11 days earlier, 8 hits, 6 runs in 4. So as you know, Major League Baseball, you never know what could happen. His grandmother, Peggy, in the stands cheering him on. His mother had passed away from cancer while he was in high school. And, Steve, you have to have one of these. You always have to have a couple of these in a perfect game or a no-hitter to make it work. Kevin Kuzminoff, beautifully done. And then top 4 on the hot corner again, this time racing in, gloving it, firing it. Got to give a little bit of the credit for this perfect game to Kuzminoff. These are not easy plays to make, Steve. Anything's early, 4th inning. You're not thinking about the perfect game just yet. The stretch there at first base. Take a look at that. Those zeros, Braden's still perfect. In command, take a look at what he did here. He admitted to the San Francisco Chronicle on Thursday. I mentioned this before the break. He pitched in this game hungover.
Really?
Yeah. Did David Wells do that for the Yankees? I think he did that.
More than once.
Yeah. So apparently, imagine how good he'd be if he was sober out there every 5 days. We're just kidding. 9th inning, Braden gets Ibar to line out to first. We got to show you the entire ninth, right? The top half of the frame. There's one out. Deanna Navarro is up next. I'm not sure what the BAC is, but his ERA was pretty good on this day. Gabe Kapler, who's now a manager in the Bay Area for that other team, is up. Here we go.
And Braden turns, he throws, and it's swung on a ground ball to short. Taken there, Pennington's got it. He throws a perfect game. Dallas Braden has thrown a perfect game. The A's have beaten Tampa Bay 4-0. The kid from Stockton has done it for the A's.
That was, at that time, Steve, the 19th perfect game in Major League Baseball history. I showed you his grandmother, Peggy, in the stands. They were on SportsCenter together the next day. How about this?
You know, we're not able to share it with my mother, who I know we both would really, really relish, would really love to have here with us. But as far as that's concerned, you know, there's nothing we can do about that. We can look back on this day, though, and celebrate and enjoy and remember that, you know, this is the day one more time that all three of us were able to be together.
I'm sure Mom was looking down. He was a colleague of ours, Steve, here at ESPN. Great guy, Dallas Braden, doing it on Mother's Day. And speaking of, a little early arrival for Mother's Day here, huh?
Dallas looks different nowadays, by the way. U.S. women's national team star Alex Morgan gave birth to her first child this week. The team announced on Saturday. Congratulations. Charlie Elena Carrasco, born at 11:30 a.m. Thursday, weighing 8 pounds and 5 ounces. Morgan said at the Women's World Cup last summer she was committed to continue playing through the 2023 World Cup. Congrats all around.
More moms in the spotlight in honor of their big day. SportsCenter featured paying tribute to one mother working on the front lines in New York City with a special appearance by a New York City sports legend. That's why she's smiling like that.